Memory is a term applied to numerous biological devices by which living organisms acquire, retain, and make use of skills and knowledge. It is present in all forms of higher order animals, the human beings. Despite of the many research and exploration, a complete understanding of human memory does not exist. With grace and hope, allow me to greet every one of you a warm and prosperous afternoon. To the just and well-honored professor, Miss Nerissa Malco Beatriz, to my equally talented classmates in the field of teaching profession, and to you who are listeners, viewers, and agents of change in the educational system. Good afternoon. Today is Saturday, January 15, 2022, and you are tuning in watching the video lesson discussing about memory. Now let's talk about memory. What is memory? Memory is the ability to take in information, store it, and recall it at a later time. In psychology, memory is broken into three stages: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Now let's focus and dig deeper in the first memory process, encoding or registration. As defined, it is the process of receiving, processing, and combining information. Encoding allows information from the outside world to reach our senses in the form of chemical and physical stimuli. In this first stage, we must change the information so that we may put the memory into the encoding process. Now, for the second stage, we have storage. It is the creation of a permanent record of the encoded information. Storage is the second memory stage or process in which we maintain information over periods of time. For the third stage, we have retrieval or recognition. It is the calling back of stored information in response to some cue for use in a process or activity. The third process is the retrieval of information that we have stored. We must locate it and return it to our consciousness. Some retrieval attempts may be effortless due to the type of information. Now, let's proceed to the types of memory. Sensory memory. Sensory memory allows individuals to retain impressions of sensory information after the original stimulus has ceased. One of the most common examples of sensory memory is fast-moving lights in darkness. If you've ever lit a sparkler on the 4th of July or watched traffic rush by at night, the light appears to leave a trail. This is because of iconic memory, the visual sensory store. Two other types of sensory memory have been extensively studied: echoic memory, the auditory sensory store, and haptic memory, the tactile sensory store. Sensory memory is not involved in higher cognitive functions like short and long-term memory. It is not consciously controlled. The role of sensory memory is to provide a detailed representation of our entire sensory experience, for which relevant pieces of information are extracted by short-term memory and processed by working memory. The second type of memory is short-term memory. As defined, short-term memory is also known as working memory. It holds only a few items. Research shows a range of 7 ± 2 items and only lasts for about 20 seconds. However, items can be moved from short-term memory to long-term memory via process like rehearsal. An example of rehearsal is when someone gives you a phone number verbally and you say it to yourself repeatedly until you can write it down. If someone interrupts your rehearsal by asking a question, you can easily forget the number since it is only being held in your short-term memory. Now, for the third type of memory, we have long-term memory. Long-term memories are all the memories we hold for periods of time, longer than a few seconds. Long-term memory encompasses everything from what we learned in first grade to our old addresses to what we wore to work yesterday. Long-term memory has an incredibly vast storage capacity, and some memories can last from the time they are created until we die. And these are all for my report this morning. I hope you enjoy. Goodbye.